Hi, this is Busy. Happy Halloween 2016 to everybody. This is my daughter, Snow White. Um, I've been asked over the years, what do you read? What do you like to read? About criminology, what true crime do you like? What psychology stuff do you like? Don't touch the keyboard, baby. And I decided that it would be appropriate to use Halloween to show everyone my little true crime, etc. library with the help of my lovely assistant Snow White. So, I am going to take you on a little tour. Now, I decided to dress as Poetic Homicide for Halloween. Anyway, a little bit about this bookshelf before I show you the books. This was given to my family in 1993, 1994. I was real little at the time. By a victim of serial killer Glenn Rogers, who passed shortly after me and my mom moved. By passed, I mean was murdered. I lived next door to Glenn Rogers as a young child, and he was apprehended not long after me and my mom moved back to Louisiana. So this bookshelf has its own little true crime history. But getting on to the good stuff, the actual books, and I'm not very good with controlling the webcam while I'm holding it. So here are some of my favorites. We have The Sexual Criminal, and this book was written back when homosexuality was still considered an illegal criminal activity, and that's evident throughout the text, but there is still some good stuff in here. That's the book I was talking about. Then there's this, The Invention of Murder. I haven't finished this book. How the Victorians reveled in death and detection and created modern crime. Obviously, the way they went about crime and solving cases back then is vastly different from now. There wasn't forensics. The Shrine of Jeffrey Dahmer. My Friend Dahmer. This is one of my favorites. This is one of my all-time favorite books. I got it about 5 or 6 years ago when I was living in New York, and it's now being made into a movie. Now, what's different about this book? It was written by someone who went to school with Jeffrey Dahmer, and it is a graphic novel. So if you see anything about Jeffrey Dahmer and a Disney star being cast in the role of Jeffrey Dahmer for My Friend Dahmer, this is the book. And please read the book before you see the movie, as always. Let's see. The Psychopath Test. My cover fell off, but The Psychopath Test, one of the best fiction / non-fiction books I've ever read. It's a very good combination. One story. Women Who Love Psychopaths. This is a great one. Whether or not you are a woman who thinks you might be with a psychopath or not, it's a great book. Euthanasia. I actually wrote this. This is my first published novel. And it is fiction. Abused Boys. I have a lot going on here. This is all tore up. Without Conscience by Bob Hare, Robert D. Hare, PhD, who is the guy who made the modern psychopath test that the book, The Psychopath Test, talks about. It needs some work and some updating, but The Only Living Witness, another good one. This is about Ted Bundy. Let me see if I can turn this a little bit so y'all can see more. Autism Spectrum Club. Human, All Too Human. I was a double major in college with psychology and philosophy, and I got into Nietzsche. Now that I've studied more philosophy, some Nietzschean ideas seem almost toddler-esque to me, but I still love Nietzsche. And then there's Ted and Anne. This was never solved. The missing case of Anne Burr. A lot of people believe that she was his first victim, and he was 15 at the time, and she just went missing into the night in Washington, and they never found her. There's still a group that wants to continue the search for her, and she went missing a long, long time ago. Though Ted did, he's dead now. Ted Bundy said he had nothing to do with it. Repeatedly, but, not the most trustworthy guy. Thomas Harris, Red Dragon, one of the best fiction books of all time. I'm a big Anne Rule fan. She passed, not long ago. God, my cats are making a racket. Josephine! Come here! Bitter Harvest is a great one. It focuses on the case of Deborah Green, who basically had some severe borderline issues and set her house on fire, poisoned her husband to try and get his attention. Have you tried lingerie? Anyway, that's one. Oh, about borderline, the non-criminal borderline. I try not to demonize all of you. Loud in the House of Myself. This is a memoir. It says Memoir of a Strange Girl, and it's about borderline personality and how she basically recovered from it. So if you like Girl Interrupted, you would love this memoir, and it's great. It's written so well, and I love memoirs. I totally, as far as, getting lost in a book that is actually fiction, that's definitely where I go. The Logic of Alice. This book is not about Alice in Wonderland. This book is about logical fallacies and clear thinking. Clear thinking in Wonderland. And it has helped me a lot. It's helped me win lots of arguments and debates. I don't like to argue, but I love to debate. The Girl in the Leaves. This is a very difficult book to read if you have a lot of empathy. And the body disposal method used in this book inspired the body disposal method in my novel Killing Butterflies. Not that I don't want to glorify anything like that, but it's genius. It's awful, but it's genius. Let's see what we've got here. Death by Cannibal. And these are some recent stories. One of these people went down. I haven't actually finished the entire book, but most of it. One of these people actually was using the dark web to sell his wife for cannibalism in New York. He was a cop in New York while I was in New York, and didn't get caught till later. Dark web, don't mess with the dark web if you don't know what you're doing, because there are cannibals out there and they will eat you. Let's see. We've got, I'm sorry this video is so shaky, y'all. The Prince and Other Writings. Machiavelli. I love Machiavelli, and I love this book. Fiction. Here's a fiction book by someone who wrote one of the best memoirs of all time called Wasted, and then later Madness. Maria Hornbacher. I think I'm saying that right. The Center of Winter. It's about a family of 4 who are basically, well, it turns into a family of 3, dealing with the aftermath of familial suicide. And it's told from the point of view of a child, an older child with psychosis, and the mother. And it is really good. And as someone who's not very empathetic and doesn't really feel bad when I'm reading stories about sad stuff, it has been hard for me to actually get through this book because of how heavy it is. Like, topic-wise, it's rough. Like, it is rough. Let's get down here to these books. This is R.E.M. Hello, and it kind of details pictures of their, it's one of my favorite bands anyway. The New Puberty, I, Monster. It's a good book, but it's not really, if you're really hardcore into true crime, it's gonna bore you. How to Make a Serial Killer. We have stuff like Confessions of St. Augustine. And then right here we have Thomas Harris, Hannibal. I've got the Hannibal DVD. I've got the Wendigo. I've got the Hannibal pop figure. Oh my god, I'm so sorry about how shaky this video is. Anyway, back to me. Alongside my, book collection, I have movies such as My Name is A, about Alyssa Bustamante. I have this magazine about, Charles Manson. Basically, it has all these writings by Charles Manson and stuff from before he was caught, after he was caught. Another favorite. Another book I wrote. Killing Butterflies. I wrote it under a pseudonym for a reason. I have made more book sales under a gender neutral pen name. So, J.E. River. So those are some books that I have. Science of Evil by Baron Cohen. When I really got into studying empathy, types of empathy, such as the way empathy is low in people on the spectrum, such as myself, versus empathy being low and malignant in people on the cluster B personality spectrum. One of my favorite books is in the living room, and it's called The Comprehensive Textbook of Suicidology. And there's a new one out. This one that I have is from 2002, and I was in it was from 2000 or 2002. Anyway, I was in 2nd, 3rd, or 4th grade when it was published. They just had a new one come out for 2015, and I need it. The Bell Jar. Your life isn't complete until you've read The Bell Jar. So, I have a lot of books, and it's a lot of true crime. So outside of The Bitter Harvest, I had a lot of Anne Rule. I'm trying to figure out where it all went. The Stranger Beside Me is a great book if you're into true crime. Anything by Anne Rule. She really was, a talented writer, a talented author, and a very dedicated cop. And on top of my bookshelf, because I don't believe in putting this stuff on the same shelf with all my murder books, this is my Chumash. I was holding it upside down, but it's the Jewish Bible, it's the Torah, So I have that. I do have some religious books. Religion is one of my things, and plus I'm Jewish, so the fact that I have some Jewish books is a Siddur, Jewish prayer book. I love it. Well, I mean, that's basically my little tour. Figured y'all might really get a kick out of some of this Charles Manson stuff that I have. And up here, I have, is it showing it? Yeah. Could this man control you? Charles Manson, alleged mastermind behind the Tate murders. It was 60 cents. That's how you know it's old. Can't get gum for 60 cents anymore. But my dad's current girlfriend gave me that when she found out that I was into all this stuff. So, that is my tour of my true crime bookshelf. Literally, the bookshelf has true crime background and all my books. So, when people ask me, so, Dizzy, what do you read about these topics? There are some books. And I have more, but there's a bookshelf in the living room, mostly dedicated to baby books now. But, yeah. Well, since you're in my room, figured I would show you my art wall. I will be participating in the Pancakes and Booze art show in mid to late November. I'll be 25 by then. And I'll be taking some art, selling some art. So if you're in Austin, go to the Elysium on like November 19th. Buy some art from your girl. Anyway, I really hope everyone has had a good weekend and a good Halloween. I might make another video later about something else. Anyway, hope you liked my true crime book tour for Halloween. Bye.